You tell me, how do you, so you have a regular verb in Gaelic, how do you put it into the simple past tense? You remember?
Va.
No, not va. That's the progressive. That's va me.
Oh.
I was working.
It lenites the initial consonant.
The DH?
That's right. Yeah. It lenites. That's the simple past tense. That's the completed past. Okay. Not I was working, because that puts you in the speaker and the listener into the middle of the working. But go with me. I worked. So that's a completed action. Okay. You lenited. Okay. The simple past tense. Okay. So not he was playing, but he played. He played. Okay. And this is similar to, it has the same function as the simple past tense in English. Okay, the ed ending for regular verbs. Maybe next week we will start looking at the irregular verbs. Okay, the irregular verbs in Gaelic that form their past tense irregularly. Okay, but for now, I just want us to get used to the regular verbs. Okay, and it actually, once you get used to it, it's very easy. You just lenite. Okay. And of course, I talked about the root verb. That's when you look the word up in the dictionary. You want to look at the word grow, for instance, and it's fas. That's the root. That's the root. The word that it gives. Okay, is the verb. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's some examples of the simple past tense: vul, heish, hook, koshik, vreip, rekker. Okay, so these are examples of the lenited form of the root verbs. The root verbs are here. Bul becomes vul, shesh becomes heish, tuk becomes hook, koshik becomes hoshik, breip becomes vreip, frekker becomes rekker. Okay. The words that begin with an F and a vowel, or just a vowel, are treated a little bit differently. The lenition takes the DH in front. So it's riag, thag, to leave becomes gag. Ol, drink, becomes rol. I becomes he. Echt becomes geest. Fas becomes gas. Furig becomes gurig. Okay. So the DH is, you can consider the DH part of the lenition. Okay, and I'll redden these. Okay, so the DH becomes part of the lenition for the vowel verbs. Okay. Okay, just okay. Okay, and then there's a few words, a few letters and letter combinations that don't lenite at all. As we advance, we'll learn that sometimes the pronunciation changes, and so there is kind of a hidden lenition, but we won't bother with that now. And these are the L words. Len becomes yen, becomes len. Noch becomes noch. Scan is scan. Spell, spell. Rui, rui. Scoop, scoop. Small, small. Stomp, stomp. See, so these don't lenite. Now, one of the ways that you can tell, one of the ways that you can remember, is it'd be almost impossible to fit an H in there in terms of changing the pronunciation. Okay, so you couldn't very well write. How would you pronounce that? Even a Gaelic speaker couldn't figure out how to pronounce that. Okay, all right. Okay. Now, and then we went over the negatives. Kato, nachto, ando. Okay, so these are like the forms that we've learned in the with the ha words, chaniel, nachel, anro, aniel, except that we add the do. Okay, and maybe one way to remember this is somewhat similar to the form in English, at least in contemporary English, in which we have to put in a did. Did you go? Okay, so in contemporary English, you can't really say went you to the store yesterday. You can't really say that. You have to use the, what I had a linguistic professor once remark on as the dummy do. It's a particle. It doesn't really serve a function in the sentence. It just marks it as a question, or let's say I did not go. I didn't go. So you go back to Shakespeare, and you might see things like I went not. Yeah, but we can't do that these days. We have to use the do. Okay, that again doesn't serve a function. Well, it just marks the past tense. It marks it in the same way that this do does. Chato, chatavulmi ambala. I didn't hit the boy. Not to vrepu avala. Didn't you kick the ball? Not to vrepu ambala. Didn't you andu echentaiosta? Did you stay at the hotel? Andu gurig, ando. Okay, so we form the questions from these. Okay. And we had all the verbs that you should have remembered by now. Okay. Not all the verbs, but some of the more common verbs. Okay, so I think there's about 200 of these, and so you can keep this as a list because I'm going to be trying to refer to these. Okay. So now, one of the ways to learn this is not so much from the list. Okay. Sometimes somebody might be list oriented and have a mind for remembering things from the list, but pay attention to the story, because if you can remember the context of the story, and we'll see what I'm talking about in just because I've managed to put, I don't I lost count, but I managed to put a number of these, of maybe a quarter of these, into the story, and the story's not done yet. And as we go forward, you'll see others being used in the story. So that's the way to remember it. You can almost remember the picture of the three Mukenbeka, okay, the three little pigs. Excuse me, you can almost remember the picture of of the characters doing something. And then hocheantai, and you have a picture of the pig building a house, right? Hocheantai. Okay, so you remember the picture of the pig building a house. And so tok and hok means building a pig house. No, it just means building. Okay, anyway, but I think you see my idea. If we remember it in context, I think it sticks better. Okay, so we'll try that. But here's a list. And then as you're reading the story on your own, you can refer back to the list. And actually, I have two different lists. I have the verb list, and then I have the special vocabulary list at the end of the story. But we're going to go through the story, and and of course we'll read it, okay, and try to understand it on the pass through. And as I said, the story is only about half or a third done, so we'll have other episodes as we go forward. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now we have an exercise. Okay, so we have a picture. We have a picture of something happening. Okay, of somebody doing something and a verb attached. And then this is not difficult. I haven't even supplied a answer sheet because this should be something that I just want you to get into the rhythm of this, okay? Because right here, like right here, the first one, on Gael ambalik. Gael ambalik. So you see how the answer, the correct answer is given in the question, right? Okay, so so you have your answer sheet there. And so I want you to get into the habit of, oh, okay, I see. I start to get the pattern now. Okay, so let's try a few of these. Under Gesh Tournament Rishon Radio. What'd be the answer?
Yeast.
Yes. Yes, Thomas is on radio.
Exactly right. Yesh Tournament Rishon Radio. Very good, very good. You see, so it follows that pattern. So under Gar and Clown.
Gar,
Yeah.
gar and clown.
Gar and Clown. That's right. That's right. Okay. And then remember, in the Gaelic pattern is we have what seems in English to be a repetition. Gal and Balak, Yesh Tournament, Gar and Clown. Okay, but one of the verbs is doing the yes, and then the other one is forming the verb of the sentence. Okay, so there are really two different things going there. Okay, ambala.
Glock.
Glachanian. Ambala.
Okay, and the Hilakangila ambala.
Gaelic-anian.
Hilakanian ambala, Angila ambala. Very good, very good. Okay, and the Vrish Alistair Beck.
Rish.
Chris
Alistair
Beck. Caesar.
Frencher. Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah. Okay, and the faint Seamus Angela.
Faint.
Seamus and Jella.
Yeah, very good. On the Screep Column Leacher.
Three column leacher.
Street column later.
That's right. Okay. And then notice also, I'm tricking you into learning some vocabulary, right? Okay. Because you see the noun, you get reinforced as to what the verb means. Okay. Under Gair Neil on paper.
Neil
Neil
paper.
on paper.
Very good. Okay. Under Gich Mark and Ginia Eka.
Mark and dinner.
Very good. Under Vrian Eat Richela.
Brian.
Rian
Eat Richela. Okay. And now Julian, Seamus and Boxer.
Julian Seamus and
Seamus
Boxer.
Okay. And a go Shuck Sue Orange.
Oh.
Go
Sue.
Sue Orange.
And the lame Dole.
Oh.
Lame Don.
Okay. And the Naig and Balakan and ear.
Nayam Balak Aram Fur.
Okay. And the Hounds Ishbel August Column.
August Column.
And the Ni and Balakahane.
Nayam Balak of Ain.
Okay. Okay. And now he Shonach Gownsy.
Ye.
Gonich Gainsa.
Gownsy. Okay. And the Cluch and Clown Game.
Clown game.
And the Kate and Shan Dunya Editing Television.
Aid.
And Sean Duna on television.
And doing it on television. Okay. And the rape Peggy a Charuv.
Shape Peggy
Rip
of
Peggy
Crew.
a Groove.
Crew.
And the Hobbits na Balak Rikela.
Habits.
Habish na balak kavela.
And a Hachel and Dunya.
Hachel.
Akacha Junior.
Dunya.
And the Gurek Muraki.
Gurek. Gurek. Chamui.
He's waiting for something. Okay.
Um,
Kokarak Ruag.
Kookaroo.
Kukararua.
Rue.
Lave pole on your.
Lay pole on lure.
Lure.
No Kanak Runich Rutin Ekavu.
Rula Akabu.
Kanak Runich Rutin Ekavu. Something at a thing at the store. Okay.
That was a tongue twister.
Ina on car.
Kusina on car.
And no Hain and Nien and Toran.
Hain anin antora.
And the H Una and Baron and Breacha.
Una Baron Breacher.
Okay. That's a lovely name, I think, for a dandelion puff.
Oh,
Okay. The puff of Breacha, of Bridget.
Oh.
The saint or the goddess, whatever side of the divide. On the Hooch Patrick.
Hooch Patrick.
Who's Patrick?
Patrick. On a Koshik Raperch.
Kosha Raven.
Koshik Raper.
Okay. On the Rui and Nian Sambalach.
Ruanian
Rui anian
Esambala.
ambala.
On the Nav on Lena found an armor.
Nab Lava Ama.
Okay. On a Hooch American etiquette.
Hooch American
American.
Edit.
Nugir and Kubi.
Naya and Cool.
Teacher, grammar, Gaelic.
And a Heckish and teacher grammar in the Gaelic.
And teacher, common.
Teacher Grammar Magali.
Teacher grammar in the Gaelic. Okay. I don't know his last name. His first name is Jason. He has some YouTube videos up, teaching some Gaelic grammar.
Oh.
And Huna Maher and Doris.
Union Maha and
Mahadoris.
And the school up on Ballochbeck and Lar.
School and Ballot
and
based on Lar.
Ballochbeck and Lar. Okay. And the Chluich and Dunya and Ui.
Clue on Duna and Ui.
Ui. Okay. Rave and Ui.
Oh.
And the Gimlich and Kat the Fishik.
Yimlich.
Limit Kara.
A Fishik. Okay. And the Hobbits and the Dunya.
Harvard
Habich
Dunya.
Madunya.
Oh, I had another Hobbits there. Okay. And the Loric Sherlock Holmes and Mortar.
Lord
Sherlock Holmes and more.
And again, Superman on Tool.
Yon Super.
Superman and Shoe.
Okay. Okay. And the Harank and the Heck Akarst.
Hech.
Okay. Okay. And the Hook and Luke Oprach and Tokalak.
Hook Maluka over on Tokla.
Tokalak building. Okay. And the Hook and the Holinek and Lesson.
Cook.
No, Holigan
And
lesson.
Lesson, the Holinek and Lesson. Okay. And the Hur and Tunak Shield.
Kur
and Tuition School.
Okay. Okay. And Kur can mean a number of different things. Put. And there's some derivatives, okay, but kuramach would be to throw up, okay, but to put out, okay, but you can kur seeds, okay, or you can kur a letter, okay, or a postgelon, okay, and leva chalik an yor.
Leave.
Leave a
Lay a
hammock on the
hammock on
wall.
the wall.
Okay. And the car bozo on Clusica.
Yeah, I have bozo and plus.
Also.
Har bozo on cliff.
Bozo, okay. The clown on Clusica.
Ah.
Okay, bozo. On the car symbolic.
The fast
The
symbolic.
Fast symbolic.
Symbolic. And the going on Dunya on the car.
Going on Dunya
Good
on
answer car.
He's gonna get a ticket.
Mhm.
And a guy on Gila and Dakiaka.
Cái
Gagan Gila and
Taki.
Yeah, he.
On a huge on Dunya Rara cake.
Who's on phone?
Dunya.
Dunya Rara cake. Okay. Rara Rever, the fat man. Okay, the cake. Okay. And the Kyle on Skipper and Game.
Call
Carl
and
skipper
skipper on game.
Okay, we see them in a losing attitude. Okay. Very good. Okay, so you have some exercises there. And then on your own, you can make your own sentences with the verbs and the vocabulary. Okay? Okay, so that's a exercise that you can